Hey everybody, happy Saturday. Hope you guys are doing good and staying dry with all this rain. So today I've got some things I want to show you. Class on Thursday had some pretty cards. Gonna kind of wait here, see if people will get on, but see if I can get this in the middle of my, yeah, that's a little better. So I had class on Thursday here in the studio and we focused on the Bird Ballad. I got a couple of things going on with that. Hey Jennifer, I think you used the Bird Ballad in your Facebook Live. I was watching you with your blends. Good job. So from class, I have two cards today. We're using the Bird Ballad. Really the bundle, well the whole suite, because I have fallen in love with the whole suite. Part of the suite is this designer series paper. And we have the birds and we've cut them out and used them all over. Kites. I don't know, do you guys have any kites? We have a family of 7 and they are interesting to watch. They eat anything from frogs to mice. I never realized that. And they eat all the time. Fun birds to watch. But so here's the paper. And then here is the coordinating cardstock that goes with it. I'm using today Petal Pink. I've fallen in love with Petal Pink and seem to make all the cards out of it. Here is the stamp set. It's a part of the suite. And the bundle in this has the framelets, stitch nested labels, and then the stamp set. And if you buy them together, it's 10% savings for you. So, and you know, I looked at this, at these framelets, and I thought, what am I going to do with that? But I've had a lot of fun coming up with different ideas. So I will show you some of them. And then I also, this card was from class, and let me show you the other card, and we're going to make them together really quick. Here's the other card. I have to get it out of the sleeve. I always put my cards in sleeves because as I do class, I find people take them down and it ends up in an ink pad. It's notorious that it ends up in an ink pad. But part of the suite is this lace. Very pretty. And see how I've used just a different way. So I'm coming up with different ways to use it. So this is card 2 and we will make that. And then I wanted to show you some of the kits that I'm offering. Now these kits are to go, and I'm hoping you can see it, but it also has the heirloom framelets in it in this particular card. Now all of this comes out of the designer series paper. And in the kit, if you order it, you'll get a half a pack of designer series paper, you'll get a bolt of the lace, you'll get a bolt of the linen thread. Everything else is cut out for you except for the fussy cutting on the birds. The birds actually are a part of the designer series paper. And that's what's cool about this. So all that comes in the kit, and it's $35 for the kit. So if you're interested in that, leave a comment. I'll get with you. You'll get tutorials step by step on how to make all those cards in the kit, and you'll get all that for $35. So, all right, so here's my first card. See, what else do I have to tell you? Oh, here's another kit I have. And oh boy, I don't have specifics on it, but if you want to know cost, this is actually in the catalog. And I found the frame at Hobby Lobby. Changed it up a little bit, but I had a lot of fun playing with the Daisy Lane bundle. And I think this kit is, if you buy the Daisy Lane bundle, I'll send you the tutorial for free on how to make all of these flowers, which once you make one, it's pretty easy. And then you have to, I'll send you all the little leaves and the cardstock to make all the little flowers, and then you'll just have to stamp the image and then punch them out with your punch. That's why you have to buy the bundle. So if you buy the bundle, I'll send you the tutorial plus the little kit to make the flowers. Now you're responsible for the frame, and again, that's at Hobby Lobby, and you'd order that and then put that together. So if that's something you're interested in, then send me an email. I'm going to put it up on my blog, the kit. It'll go up on Monday. So you can also run over there and talk, leave a comment there, and I'll set you up. Hey, Darby. So Darby, you've made these cards, and we're going to make them today on for my Facebook fans. So not real sure if you want to hang in there. You're more than welcome to, but I just kind of wanted to prepare you that it's the same cards we did at class today on Thursday. So let's get started. Let's take and put this card here so you can see it. Now what you'll need is an 11 by 4 1/4 scored at 5 1/2. Oh, I'm glad you had fun. Need a bone folder. I'm glad you liked my cards. Anyways, my bone folder has left me. So that is what we call the card base. And then you need the first layer. And this first layer is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to find this little flower in the stamp set. Put that on a block. And I gotta find my grapefruit grove. Stamp pad. And this is just random stamping, okay? No rhyme or reason. Just, you want to do some images off. And it's just kind of like around the perimeter. We'll get this done real quick. Oh, I didn't need that one, but it felt good. Hey, Nancy. Glad you're here. Glad everybody's here. Thanks for checking in. We're making cards from my class on Thursday. So this is the first layer. And we are just going to take that first layer and we are going to glue it down. And that one's going to be a booger, so I'm going to go to another one. I'll open it up later. It just takes a straight pin. I don't want to do it right now. Always make sure your fold's at the top. I don't know how many times I've put cards together and the fold's been on the bottom. All right, so the next step is to go your die cutting machine and use these stitch nested labels. And I have already done it just to be ahead of you guys. So I took the largest And the second largest, now this is crumb cake, and this is our white, our Whisper White. And I'm just going to put them back in here so I don't lose them. I don't know how many times I lose. And this little magnetic plate I put in there. That's just something I do. Doesn't come that way. I just find they stay nicer and they're not all over the bottom of the pocket there. Drives me crazy. Drives me crazy. Now this would be cool if you'd cut it straight. It'd make a nice little frame. All right, so this is my border. I'm going to layer that right up on top there, but before I do that, I want to stamp. You always want to stamp first, and then glue it down, because if you make a mistake, you can always flip it over. So it's just kind of a good habit to get into. Now I've gone into the stamp set, and I've gotten, so let's take a look at this stamp set again. This has these birds here. So that's the one I went and took out. Right here. And I'm going to use soft suede. And where I get my colors is, when you order the DSP or the Designer Series paper, on the back, Stampin' Up's done a real nice job of just telling us all the coordinating colors. And then I took it one step further. I do this for my downline. Took it one step further, and we put all the DSP on a sheet, and then we put all the coordinating cardstock. So looky there. Look what we're going to use. So it makes it really easy to design cards. So I'm going to ink this up, and then I just want, and you can do it at any angle, I want to get those 3 birds on there, and maybe even have that leaf go up, but I want 3 birds. Oop. And maybe I did a little too high, but we'll see, because these words, our friendship means the world to me, is also in that stamp set. Let's see if I left enough room. I think so. So I'm going to put that on a block, and I always put it on, I lay up my block on a grid, and I'll look through the block onto the grid to try to get my words pretty straight. Doesn't always happen, but can you guys see? Nope, I'm pushing it down into where you can't see. So we're going to put those words there. So there you go. And that's all done with soft suede. And the next step, I'm even going to color my birds before I put it on my background. Now I'm using alcohol markers. Love these alcohol markers. I've got a light Calypso coral. I could use, actually I should be using, let me see. I'll use this, but I have a Grapefruit Grove pen too. So, and Stampin' Up always, our alcohol markers come in light and dark for each color. We don't have every single color in our catalog, but we have a lot of them, and it always comes light and dark. And the neat thing about our markers is this line tells us it's a nub side, so a little pointy side, and I'll show you in a minute how that works. And then there's a brush side. So you got 2 options on these pens, which is very nice, and that's what these lines tell us. So on the birds, I like to, with alcohol markers, of course they blend. You should always use a water base to put the line down, and then the alcohol won't move the water base ink. So on the birds, I'm going to take the darkest, and I'm just gonna go around their little bellies. Got to be careful, don't get to the line, too close to the line. Gonna go around their little bellies, and then make sure the lid's on tight. I use the nub. Sometimes I'll use a brush if I'm going over a large area. And then you start this circular motion. And the goal is to get that line to smooth out. So see how there's still a little line. I'm going to work on, thank you, Nancy. I'm going to work on getting that line. See, look at there. Look how nice. And it's so smooth. I'm going to do this one. Now, let's say I did this and I wasn't happy with the amount of shading. You can always go back in. And add more dark until you're happy. I'm doing a round circle, and everybody tells me if we've got a lot of color on the back, we're doing the right thing. Okay, now I'm going to move on to a crumb cake head. You could do a soft suede head if you wanted. And I'm going to do that because over here I think I did crumb cake. Let's see the difference. So this is the light. And see, this is just a little darker of a brown, where the crumb cake seems to be a little lighter. And the cool thing is you can just go right back over. Let's say I messed up and you wanted to add that wing on there. I mean, these alcohol markers are fabulous. I love the color they put down. And then I might even take, now we have a color lifter. I might even take that and kind of blend the line in between. Now, color lifter does move the color, so it's going to look like it's lifted. So let me show you what it looks like when you get done. Actually, it looks really cool. So see right in there, it gives it a little like light shining on it. So I'm not going to color the rest because I like what I have. Let's just get on to making the card. I need some glue. Now that I'm happy with it, we're going to put it down. Now, some of the girls in my class, they colored the leaves and colored it completely out, and it was beautiful. So really, there's no right and wrong. You can do as little as you want or as much as you want. But here's one thing that's pretty important. Get your margins even. Try not to, crooked bothers me. Maybe it doesn't bother anybody else, but it bothers me. So I try to tell everybody, get everything straight if you can. All right. We're getting pretty close to being done on this one. Pretty quick card. Let me get it straight so I don't drive myself crazy. All right, so this piece here is just a cutout from the Designer Series paper. Looky here. Look at all these beautiful different flowers that you have a choice of doing. Let's shut these pads up. Knowing me, I'll end up getting something in them. All right, so I'm going to go with this guy, and I probably should have already had him fussy cut it out, because fussy cutting does take time, but it's good for you. Good therapy. Good therapy. And I don't know if you've ever had any cutting instructions, but you're supposed to move the paper, not the scissors. I never knew that. Never knew that. But see, you wouldn't even have to get the stamp set with this one. These images are absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to cut that little guy off. So, I mean, if you like the stamp set, if you don't, you can just cut the birds out of the designer series paper. It's just really pretty paper. All right, that's done. Get that out of there. I need a couple of dimensionals. Oh, I have some over here. Actually, I'm just going to do one. There we go. I'm happy with that. Now let me show you this cute little bow. Celine, who is a fellow demonstrator, used this on one of her cards. I left the little legs on, but I've used it on everything now. Take about well, this is longer. Maybe take a 6 or 8 inch piece of lace or ribbon, and like you're going to tie a bow. The thing is, you want to make sure that there's little legs sticking out both sides. Then take a piece of baker's twine and wrap it around the center, and you're going to tie a square knot. Simple, simple. Tips I can give you is just make sure the rabbit ears, the little bow part of it, make sure they're even before you totally cinch it down. You could use a fork to help you hold this together if you struggle trying to keep it. So right before, I kind of make sure I'm happy with where the rabbit ears are. Cinch it down. I cinched it a little too tight, but then you just adjust. Finish up with a square knot. And then pull the legs down. There you go. That's a cute little bow. I love it. Love it, love it. All right, so this is going to go on right here, and it's going to be with a glue dot. So let's take our glue dot. Put that there. Look how cute. Love it. So then a girl doesn't go out without her earrings, right? So here we've got to add our bling. And those are pearls, our basic pearls. And I don't have my picket tool, so I'm going to use a paper piercer. Just reach up underneath there, and I'm going to randomly put these around. On the flower. Gotta have them on the flower. Oop, stuck to my finger. Yeah, I think I'll put one down here. Spread it out a little bit. Down here. balance it. Those are too even, but oh well, they're there now. Let's put one up here. Look at that, how it dresses it up. Really dresses up a card nice. Okay, I think I'm done with the pearls. The only thing that bothers me a little bit are the little beaks. The beaks need to be yellow. So I'm going to go back and grab my alcohol marker and the nub side. And I'm just, I mean, it could be a dark brown beak too. Whatever you have. There you go. Okay, so that's card 1. What do you think? Went pretty fast. And of course you should be doing the inside, and I have not done the inside. I'm a very bad girl and I won't do it on this because we have two cards to do and I want to get through both of them. So let's move on. Second card is again something we did in class. And put this up, clean up my workspace. We'll talk about the card sizes. Yeah, I'm going to need that ribbon. Put this aside. All right. So here is card number 2. Again, using all the same stuff. The bird banner. Now I did incorporate in there a second set of dies called the Stitched Shapes dies. It's in our annual catalog. And I have already cut them out just to save time. But okay, card base. This one is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then you have a first layer, and that needs to be ran through the embossing folder, and I'm using what's called Scripty. Thank you, Nancy. That's the one thing with Stampin' Up! Is everything Stampin' Up! Does, the catalog just coordinates everything for you. You don't have to do any of the work. Well, you do the work, but that's the beauty of it. The colors coordinate, all the accessories coordinate nicely. But that's Stampin' Up! They do a wonderful job. All right, so I'm going to run that through the embossing. And emboss it. I don't know if you've ever embossed. I have a Big Shot that I've had forever. And then I have this embossing plate. And with our they're a little thicker, but we also need this little plate on top. So I'm going to run this through and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. These embossing folders are really cool. Can you see that? See, it put the words down. Look how nice that is. And we've got some really, really cool embossing folders. So this is going to get glued down. But I'm going to work this whole, before I glue it down, I'm going to work the whole thing because I've got this pretty lace that's got to go down and I want it to tuck in behind. So, that I don't need. The next thing I need this. This is the Designer Series paper, again, out of the Bird Ballad. Oh, sorry. I need a white circle, which is a 2-inch circle, and then I went and cut out of the stitch circle dies this Daffodil Delight in yellow. So that's going to layer really nice right up here on top. I've got my die cut from the Stitch Nested labels, and I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the thank you on top. And I need my Mento pad. Hang in there, guys. There it is. We were having too much fun last night, my downline and I, and it was in the other room. I tell you what, Stampin' Up's got a fabulous thing going on right now. The best bundle, if you to sign up, you get $155 worth of product for $99, and you don't have to do classes or anything. You just become a demonstrator and get the discount. So I mean, it's a win-win. If you spend $100 a month on crafting supplies, it's definitely something you should consider. Stamp set. Okay, I want the thank you. Here it is. Put it on a block again. Do my little line up. Sorry if my hat keeps hitting the... Now this is black, tuxedo black, Mento. Gonna do a little test right here. Yep, I like it. Very nice. Look at that. I love that script. Very, very nice. All right, now I don't need all of this, so I'm going to cut it in half and use this on another card. And that's going to go there. Now I'm missing my gray strips. So let me go and find some gray strips. I know they got to be right here. And in class I used this embossing part of the stitched. This comes with a little flat bar that puts a little stitching down. So if you look at this card, I did that right there. I did it on top and bottom. And I'm not going to do it on this card this time. I'm going to change it up and just do it straight. And that way we can see what it looks like. It's got a little feathering there. Get that off. I'm going to run glue here, glue there. And the important thing when you do this is make sure you have the same distance out the top that you have at the bottom. And the green glue makes it nice because then you can move it around. And when you get happy, press it down. If you do it quick enough. If you mess around, like I just did. All right. So it looks like you used a whole sheet of cardstock behind there, and you didn't. You still, almost, but at any rate, you could have used smaller. I just grabbed some out of my kit, my scrap bin. All right, so I'm going to glue this down right. Oh, nope, I got to put my pretty lace. This is in the catalog. It's a part of the Bird Ballad suite. It's called Scallop Lace Trim. I don't know, Darby, are you still on here? Because Darby made her gray, and I should have done that. Made her gray a little wider, and then that ribbon showed off really nice, but I didn't think about that. So I'm just going to put it on. I'm going to use a glue dot. See which way. I'm going to try to get it up there to the top of the gray. Let's see if we can show it off a little bit. Just to do something different. So see, I'm not using ribbon to go around the back because I have wrapping the legs to the back. You don't need to waste it all back there. All right. So with this one, very pretty. I love this lace ribbon. Love it, love it. Oop. Pull that off and go a little further. Closer to the edge. Yep. So now I can put it down here. I am going to put my thank you down first with green glue so that I can adjust it. Nice. And then I can glue this guy down. And again, using the green glue so I can get happy with the location. We want it as straight as possible. And then you got to kind of hold it there. Okay. Now we got to put our little bird. That's also in this set. More blocks. I'm going to do him in black as well. This Mento is a water-based black ink and works real well with the alcohol, our alcohol markers. So that's why I'm using it. But any of our water-based inks can be used with our alcohol markers. Okay, I'm going to use a yellow, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to outline. With the dark, and then I'm going to come back with the light, and I'm using the nub side, the skinny side. And I want a little more dark, so I'm going to use the brush, I think. Put down a little bit under his wing and overhead. But you notice I'm staying away from the edge because it can float into the beyond the lines. And then you got to use a color lifter. Oop, I don't want that side. I don't want the nubby. Always work it with a nubby side because that's meant to be used. It stands up a little bit. It's a little tougher tip. Okay, there we go. Next, I'm going to grab I'm going to do soft suede beak. And last, I'm going to pull out some of the lighter blue. It is called Pool Party Light. I'm going to use the brush side, and I'm going to add in some background just to kind of give some contrast and fill up the white space. There you go. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy at all. Hey, Bonnie, how you doing? So nothing fancy at all. Flip this over. I'm going to glue it down. Love this bird banner. See, I did good because you see the image out the back. They say it's always good. You put enough color down when you see that you've bled through. Now, with that being said, you don't want to do it on your favorite countertop and then end up with it coming through. So blends are fabulous. I love them. There's my little birdie bird. So I'm going to put him down with some dimensionals. Get him where he's standing straight up instead of pecking the seeds. And then I got to have a card base, so make sure your edge is on the correct side. I'm going to glue that down. Hold it a few minutes, make sure all my borders are even. There we go. All right, there's card number 2 done. Card number 1. What did I do with it? Here's card number 1. All right, that was our class cards. And again, I want to tell you, if you like this suite and want a kit, I've got a kit available. Thank you, Nancy. I have a kit available, and you get a tutorial and make all 4 of these cards, 2 of them, and in the kit, it's $35, and what you get plus shipping. If you can come get it here, then there's no shipping. But if I have to ship it to you, I have to add on shipping. But you get a half a pack of the Designer Series paper of this. You get a half a pack of that, not the cardstock, but the paper that have these birds, and then you fussy cut these birds out. Look at them. Aren't they beautiful? I mean, it looks like you stamped them. And then I send you the kit to make 8 cards, and all you're doing is fussy cutting. You get the lace, you get a bolt of linen thread, you get some pearls, and get the paper, and then you get the card bases and the first and second layers, everything to make the cards. You just have to fussy cut and glue them all together, so you have to provide that. You're welcome, Nancy. Thank you for joining us. Alrighty, well that's it for now. I will be back in a couple weeks and I'll show you my cards from my next class. You guys take care. Thanks for stopping by.